Hi guys, welcome to Red Balloon and thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to do a reaction video. I'm going to do a reaction video to a YouTube clip called Everyone Gets This Wrong About Superman, and it's to do with the time travel and how they showed that within the film, okay? And I think I was actually wrong about this in the past, and it'll be interesting to see what goes on in this film. Now, keep in mind, guys, Red Balloons, we make cartoons. If you like adult cartoons like Rick and Morty and South Park, please subscribe to the channel. We're creating a cartoon series called Little Bastards, and it is loads of fun, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. We have a Halloween episode done over October, so check that out if you can. Also, I'll be doing movie chat videos where we'll be talking about all things DC, all things MCU, all things in just movies and things that happen in movies. Okay, so other than cartoons and movie chats, we'll also be doing these reaction videos where I'll be reacting to clips on YouTube, but also I'm going to be reacting to and commenting on short animations, short films, 6, 7, 8 minute animations and films that I haven't seen before. And hopefully they'll be really good. You guys might like them. And if any of you love animations and short films and can recommend any, please do. That would be great. Just throw them in the comment section and we can have a look. Now, without further ado, we're going to check out this clip. And I hope you guys really like it. Now, just bear with me.
Always shit on it. They're like, yeah, because turning the earth around is going to make time go backwards. And I just sit there and I want to scream. I just want to scream at them. That is not what is.
That was me. Okay, that was me. I thought, I want to say when I was younger, but it wasn't. It was right into my 20s and 30s. I thought that they were trying to show him flying around the earth, and that the force or velocity of the speed he was traveling was causing the earth to reverse its rotation. And that destroyed my head, because I was sitting there and I was thinking, first of all, okay, flying at any speed wouldn't change the rotation of the earth. Okay, no force would do that in regards to flying around it. Second of all, even if you did change the earth rotation, that wouldn't reverse time. That would just cause massive catastrophes, way worse than the earthquake he's trying to stop. So it's like, even if you could reverse the earth's rotation, you would just destroy, be like an extinction level event. It would be disastrous. But that's not what they were doing. Now, I've actually wrote a short film which is around time travel, and I've rewrote it to be an episode of Little Bastards. So please, in the new year, we are going to have that episode where time travel is introduced. But in making or writing that short film about time travel, I spent days, weeks, months, years studying physics, time, dilation, the theory of relativity, general and special relativity from Einstein. I just looked into time like just ridiculously, and now I know what they were obviously trying to go for here, and this is, I think, what they're going to allude to now in a second.
Being shown. He is moving so fast, he's going back in time. And visually, the way they're showing that is the world spinning backwards. He's not making the world spin backwards. It was their way to non-comic book it. You know, in the comics, anytime he's broken the time barrier, back in the classic Bronze and Silver Age, it was always like bands of color and dates. Literal numbers.
I mean, it's a still panel. There's not a lot you can do with that.
Barrier. They're not going to do that in a movie. So how do you do it? He is spinning around the Earth simply because he's building up and then going at the speed of light and breaking the time barrier, but he doesn't want to go in a different direction. So it's always, he has to be around Earth to come back to the time that he's trying to go to, and then he slows down, and then he course corrects.
Now, they're right in what they're saying, right? If you fly at speeds close to the speed of light, as far as time dilation is concerned, from the perspective of somebody else, you would look like you're just zooming along. And time for everybody on Earth, right, relative to them, would go slower relative to you flying, right? So your both of the times are relative. The time Superman experiences relative to Earth would be unbelievably fast, slow, and the time that's experienced on Earth would be really quick. And this is the problem. When you move at speeds close to the speed of light, your time slows. Earth's time doesn't slow, it actually speeds up. Now then, of course, when you hit the speed of light, your time actually freezes, right? You don't experience time. Photons or massless objects don't experience time, right? Going 1 mile and going 1 trillion miles for a photon is the same thing. So until he reaches the speed of light, time on Earth was actually speeding forward, right? Maybe like 10, 20, 30, 50 years, right? So this is the problem. When he goes beyond the speed of light, then time starts to reverse. Now, how they should have depicted it, Earth should have started rotating quicker and quicker and quicker because time on Earth was speeding up. And then when he broke the speed of light, which means he has to be going around more than 8 times per second, right? Because light would go around the entire radius of Earth 8 times per second. That's how fast light can travel. So if you're going faster than light, you need to be going more than 8 full circles of the Earth every second, right? And when he reaches that point of going 8 full circles and beyond 8 full circles every second, Earth would then start to reverse at that point. That would be how you depict it properly. And then he has to reverse it back, not just beyond the earthquake that we see there. He needs to reverse it back beyond the 10, 20, 30, 40 years that he would have caused to move forward by going so fast in the first place. So he would have needed to undo that 50 odd years and then go back the few minutes he needs to in order to get before the car crash. Now, my argument at that point would be, why not just go back a little further, right? He says here he course corrects.
Too, because he probably went too fast, and then he starts. It's like, oh shit, oh I overshot it, and then he finds the moment.
And we've talked about this,
right? And that's the issue. He says he overshoots it and he's like, oh no, I've gone back too far. I need to course correct, and that's the problem. He starts to go the opposite direction. And that's how they depict it. So by going in the opposite direction, they're making it look like he is actually rotating the Earth by flying around it. He flies this way, the Earth rotates backwards. He flies that way, the Earth rotates the other way. So it's their own fault, right? Their visual representation of this time travel, they make it look like his flying is actually rotating. He didn't need to change direction, right? In order for him to just go forward a bit, all he has to do is continue going fast around the Earth, but just not as fast as just not faster than the speed of light, and it would have just sped up time anyway, right? But why did he need to course correct? Why didn't he just go back to the point where one version of him is stopping one rocket, and then this version of him that's gone back could just stop the other rocket, and that way then he stops the disaster altogether. And not just save Lois, but actually save probably many more people, right? So there's 2 issues I have. First of all, I don't think these guys are wrong, right? That is what they're trying to depict within the film. Not him rotating the Earth, but him going so fast that time starts to reverse and Earth starts to rotate backwards due to time going backwards. But they just did it wrong. First of all, we'll start again. When he goes around the Earth, until he reaches the speed of light, he will be speeding up the time on Earth relative to him. In which case, the Earth should have rotated faster in the normal direction. Then when he surpasses the speed of light, the Earth should stop and then reverse in direction. Because he's going faster than the speed of light, so then time relative to him is in reverse. And then when he gets to the point that he needs to find, he doesn't need to change the direction he's flying to go forward again. He just needs to fly fast enough that time will go forward faster on Earth, but slow enough that he's not reaching the speed of light again and reversing time again. That's how it should have been depicted. So everybody is wrong about that scene in Superman, but also the director and the people that made the film did it incorrectly as well.
Before I was like, what exactly did he change? Because the only thing that appears to have been done differently is that Lois didn't die.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy runs up and he's like, oh yeah, thanks a lot, Superman.
Yeah.
You me in the middle of an earthquake. And
Maybe that is a thing where there was 2 Supermen for a beat.
yeah. So I did a poll to our listeners asking what happens in this moment.
When Superman turns back time at the end of Superman 78, shouldn't there be 2 of them? one from the future and the past version of himself who was already there? It's a good question, right? Let's try answer this. So the poll says, yet it's a plot hole, 24%. So a quarter of people think it was a plot hole. No, he overwrites himself like Marty in Back to the Future. Marty doesn't exactly overwrite himself in Back to the Future. He creates new timelines in Back to the Future, as described by Doc in Back to the Future 2. He just simply creates new timelines every time he makes changes in the past. Shut up, nerd. 17%. Love that. Okay, so what do we think? So first of all, he goes back in time. And he goes to the moment where he can save Lois. But there is still a Superman in that version of time that doesn't make it back to Lois in time. Now that Superman is zipping about, saving the train from crashing. He stopped one rocket, couldn't stop the other. I think it saves a dam or heat blasts a dam or something like that, saving a town or a village. So eventually he should show up, right? And try to save Lois and go, oh, you're already saved. Oh my God, there's another Superman here. Well, who are you? He's like, well, I'm you, but I just came back in time. So it is a plot hole. He wouldn't overwrite himself because that would create that he should be there with his past version, unless it does do a Back to the Future thing where it actually creates a new timeline. And in this timeline, the past version of Superman, like in this version of the present, the past version of Superman is not there, because our version saves the rocket, saves the train, saves the village from the water, shows up to Lois, and smiles because he was able to get there in time. It's a hard one to explain because they're not really depicting time travel properly. I'm going to go with it actually is a plot hole. Either there should be two of him, or it should have created a second alternate reality in which he then saves Lois. But you're hitting massive paradoxes and whatnot at that point. Just play that.
When he goes back in time, does that mean that there's now two Supermen, or does he eventually replace himself, kind of like Marty in Back to the Future when he goes back to the present? Back to the Future actually addressed this quite beautifully, because by the time he gets back to the present day, and he doesn't yet know how history has been changed because of his actions in the past, he shows up just in time to see himself going back into...
And so that's the thing. So when Marty makes changes in the past, he creates a new reality, but that new reality still has Marty in it. And when he comes back to that point in time, there is two versions of him, but that previous version of him goes off. In that new reality, he still went off with Doc in Back to the Future.
Yes, just as he did at the beginning of the movie, so there's not two Martys there. However, that Marty was a different Marty, because that Marty grew up with cooler parents.
Yeah, that's right. What I'm talking about. It's a different reality, Marty.
The device in this film. We don't see the other Superman go back in time, because the whole reason he went back in time was
doesn't occur. He goes back in time to save her, but she's not dead anymore.
To us to understand without having someone go, well, what I did was, and you're like, wow, they don't do that. They're leaving it up to you to go, I get the general premise, and they're hoping that you don't feel the need to
ask these questions.
To ask these questions.
Stay still for a second.
Okay, that was really good. Yeah, I really liked that video. Just so we know, guys, that video was on the channel here. I'll put the channel for the full video or the real video from the prestigious Saps. It is there. It's a good video, but I do think they don't address some of the fundamental flaws in this depiction of time travel. Yes, everybody got it wrong. He's not rotating the Earth, but that wasn't everybody's fault. It was because of how the creators depicted it. Really good, though. Let me know your thoughts and whether or not you got this wrong back in the day, because I know I did originally. Please, guys, like, subscribe. We got some other cool videos to check out. One of those videos is this. We're going to react to this next, which will be a horror 3D animated cartoon called Lanoria. And guys, this is a film that I've seen, but if you haven't, you need to watch this because it is spectacular. So check out that video when it drops shortly. Have a great day, guys. Thank you very much for your time tonight. Really appreciate it. I really hope you like and subscribe. Check out more videos. We've got a lot of stuff coming. The next video is the DCU. Who will be the big bad of Chapter 1, Gods or Monsters? Keep an eye out for that.